There's a question most financial planners never ask. Not because they don't care, not because they're not good at their jobs, but because the industry was never built around it. The question isn't how much do you need, it isn't when do you want to retire, it isn't even what are your goals. The question is, what is this all actually for? At IWP, the question has been at the centre of everything we do. We call it life first. Money in service of a life, shaped by your values, your purpose, your direction, not the other way around. For years, we knew it worked. We saw it in the room. But knowing something and proving it are two different things. So 2 years ago, we started measuring 135 clients, 8 dimensions of a whole life, and what came back stopped us in our tracks. Every single dimension improved, not just financial, all 8. A financial planning firm shouldn't be able to do that. We believe it most definitely should. Today, I'm joined by Chris Haggart, partner and independent financial advisor at IWP, to get into the data, what it means, and how this approach actually works in practice. Welcome to Freedonomics. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Cameron. I've got little, not goosebumps per se, but that was, I liked hearing that little tingle on the back of my neck. I was just like, oh, yep. I've been excited to do this podcast for weeks. Pretty much since I wrote the article and sent it to you. I was just like, let's sit down right now and talk about this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, let's start there. So actually, you know what? Let's start a little bit further back and let's have a bit of a think about, we think we have a way of approaching financial planning which is special to us, and it's something we've been doing for a long time. But let's now explore where this started for us and specifically for you.
Sure. So you gave me a book.
Yeah.
10 years ago?
Ooh.
More?
It would have been. It would have. Yeah, it would have been.
Yep. And said, you got to read this, Chris. And in my laconic style, I would have been like, what's this, Cameron? Like, what are you giving me? I've got lots to do today. Like, what are you?
I need to do. I've got no time to read a book.
Chris, you need to read this.
Yeah.
And then obviously I read it and then was like, all of the unconscious, behind the scenes rationale for why and what drove me in terms of why what I thought was the right thing to do, why I thought it was the right thing to do, the impact we had was all crystallized into this method, essentially. Mm-hmm. And I'd still remember I remember exactly where we were. I remember sitting there having lunch with you on Nicholson Street, up at the bakery, up from the old office.
It was a good bakery, that one.
It was. And I distinctly remember how I feel and how excited I was the first time I had had the conversation with clients in this manner, and just being like, this is the way forward.
And I guess the traditional way, the way I was taught to be a financial advisor, was all about giving strategic advice and managing investments and picking the right stock or investment or, that sort of thing. And that's how I was taught for probably the first, 10 years of my career. And then for me, reading this book by George Kinder, for anyone who's actually interested, it was a bit of an epiphany for me at the time when I read it, probably a while ago now, 15 odd years ago, because it just allowed me to think that those conversations that you have with clients about their dreams and their aspirations, when the epiphany goes off in the room, it's like, oh, right, that's it. This is what I like about this job. It's the people. It's helping them live their lives in a way that is purposeful and authentic for them.
Absolutely.
Which involves money, because we're also good at money.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just interesting because I used to have those conversations, like the pre, life planning discussions.
Yeah.
And there was always this sense in me that it was never enough. Like there was this element of I don't feel like I'm actually getting to the bottom of things.
So not doing enough for the client?
No, it's just not being there was this disconnect between what we were doing and notionally why, and what the clients wanted in terms of like they were adjacent but never connected. So this was the thing that like really bridged that for me. And then, yeah, it's just been an even better exploration of that since.
Yeah.
Which has been fantastic.
So I think what would be purposeful now was for us to talk about what this process is.
Yep.
So from start to finish, what does it look like?
Well,
What do we do, Chris?
from my perspective, it's also about setting the scene, like setting the context. Because clients will come in, it's very, very rare. Well, it's non-existent. It hasn't actually happened, other than for clients who have been referred in from existing clients, essentially, who know what to expect. And there's been they've had the epiphany along the way. It's about contextualizing it and saying we act at the intersection of tax planning, financial advice, and life planning. And talking about, philosophically, we start first with your life.
Yep.
Like you can't, your phrase, money is a tool for how you want to live your life, goals, dreams, and aspirations. The contextualization for the decisions that we make with money are set by your values, your drivers, and what you want out of life and what's important to you, not how your money then helps, or how your money acts first before taking in that context.
Yeah, that's right. And I think traditionally most clients will come in and say, I want to buy an investment property, or I want to pay down my mortgage.
Yep. I want to have a more tax efficient structure.
Yep.
Am I on the
pay
right
too much
path?
tax.
Yep.
All of which are very valid things that people tools or things that they might want. But I guess what our approach does is we're most interested in their why, around why do they want to do those things.
Well, often, yes, those things are valid, but they're not always necessarily the best path forward once you've set the context.
That's right.
Like regularly, there's I don't know, some clients will come in and they've been to the property seminars, right?
Yeah.
So, and property has been a successful thing for them. So they're on this pathway. I want more of those things. I want more because it's going to give me the end state that I want, irrespective of all the borrowing and risk and lack of diversification and all the financial things that brings. But when you actually uncover the why, what's at the end? What's the why are you doing all this? Why are you taking all this risk?
Yeah.
We can get there without all of this. So, you need to uncover that before just embarking on a journey, because it's the thing that's always been successful in the past. And it is challenging. And I think that's one of the things that I actually really love about this. I really enjoy challenging people's status quo not status quo, challenging their preconceived ideas that they bring in, because invariably, as we'll get into here, which is why having the numbers on this as an evidence-led business, it is it's all the things that we knew that all the things that we knew that were true, but didn't have the evidence to support it. So
no, we've always had anecdotal evidence where the client says, I'm much happier now because I came to see you.
Yep.
Or I actually got my husband to do the thing that he always said he wanted to do.
Yep.
You helped. Thank you. We have that anecdotal evidence, but we never actually had the hard data, which is, I guess, why we started
to collect it. Yeah.
Collecting the data and doing these surveys in the first place. Yeah. So why don't we jump into the survey results now?
I think I might have lost the thread there. I do that sometimes. My brain goes a bit off. But was there more to that question that you wanted to explore rather than?
I think what I tend to find is when we're talking about the work that we do for people, it's always really meaningful for the people we do it for.
Yep.
Because when you go through the process that we go through, you're asked about the things you want to do with your life, which is really purposeful for you and your partner. But then when it's repeated back to someone else, it often doesn't seem that purposeful.
Well, it doesn't resonate because it's not
'Cause it's not
contextualized for you.
right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So, as an example, I had a conversation with a client the other day, which went along the lines of, I want to retire at 60. And so let's say back in the day, Cameron Howlett, financial advisor from 15, 20 years ago, I would have said, okay, great. How much money do you want at 60? Oh, I'll probably need $1 million. Oh, okay, sure, no worries. Well, let's work towards that. I can do some maths.
Well, yeah. So I was just
I'll do
thinking.
some
I was like,
maths.
well, I'm
I
just
can
like,
solve this
here's
equation.
A, here's Y.
I got this.
Great.
Yeah, I got this. Yeah, I can put it into my nice mathematical model,
And I'm going to solve all your problems.
And
The
it'll be
math
amazing.
will be fantastic.
yeah, that's right. Right.
Yep.
Math is good.
Yep.
However, what we now do was we sit down and I would say, okay, well, 60. Tell me about 60. Why? Why 60? And often it's because people think, oh, I'll need until 60 to have enough money to be able to do that. That usually comes up. But in this client's case, they talked about, well, my experience of my growing up was I never saw my dad because he was out working, building the empire. And dad died at 62 of a massive heart attack. And so at that particular time, this guy was 15. So he's like, I that is the furthest thing from what I want for my life. I want to be involved in my 4 kids' lives. All of them are sort of starting to grow up. I want to be there for the grandkids. Really love my partner who's sitting next to me, and I want to do great things with my partner. I want to travel overseas. I want to go around Australia. When we were young, we spent a whole bunch of time. They were up in the Aboriginal communities up in Northern Territory somewhere, I think they said. I want to go back and do that. It was great. It was great for us, right? So there's so much why in that. And so then our role is to uncover that and then say, well, here's when you can do that. Now, in this particular client's case, they're pretty wealthy actually, so they could afford to retire now. So our role then becomes, we do the math still, but the math is pretty easy. And we can then say, well, you can do that now, actually.
Yeah.
And that moment for that person, they are just like,
What do you mean?
What? What do you mean? Well, you could do that now. If we did X, Y, and Z with your money, you could do that now.
Yep. And not be too financially, because there's the feedback that I get from some clients there is that they feel like there's a financial trade-off for doing those things when invariably that's not the case.
Well, for some clients it is, but for most clients it's not. And you're right. So when we get through the maths, we do the maths and we come back to them, the trade-off is, do I have $20 million when I'm 88 or do I have $25 million when I'm 88?
Correct.
Well,
Yep.
doesn't matter.
And think about the impact that then has on you and your family and your psychology and quality of life, and we'll get into all of the things that so this is the anecdotal aspect of it, where like it has a profound impact for people.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're coming at this from I want to retire at 60 and I'm going to do all the math for you, that's great. Okay, here you go, Mr. Client. Here's our plan for you to work until you're 60 and then, you can retire. And how much do you need in retirement? Okay, yep, sure. All right, we'll make sure you get your 80, 100,000, whatever the number is. Great, tick, I've done my job. Come back and see me when you want to talk about, how we amend your asset allocation or what's going on in global markets. And there's a total a disconnect from the reality of what that money can actually do, the impact and the amplification of that from a life perspective.
Yeah.
Because we're not all here to just accrue money.
No.
I love that.
Well, as you well know, we as a business have conversations with our clients every day. I mean, today there's 4 or 5 clients that have been through the office already having these conversations. So, but to your point, the amplification of that can be super significant, right? Because that then means that, I'm going to be okay. I'll be less stressed, maybe a bit less grumpy, maybe a bit less, maybe more able to do things, maybe able to say yes to things, maybe spend more time with my kids now, maybe spend time seeing my aging parents, like all of these things that have a much more significant impact on people's lives than chasing the number, the 25 mil versus the 20, right? So traditionally in the past, and I think this is also the profession, the financial planning profession growing up a little bit, right? So traditionally in the past, we just didn't go that far. But for years now, our business has been going that far and further.
Yeah.
And, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper into the things that are really purposeful for them. The other thing to say too, I think in that context, is when you are asked these questions yourself, we have a series of questions we ask, which have been informed by George Kinder and Jim Stackpool and a few others. When you're asked these questions yourself, I know when I was asked, I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit emotional right now," because it's like it really hits you, right? It really hits you. But that's because what we're trying to solve for is, how do we help you use your money to do the things you want to do with your life? Those dreams, those things that you've put a long way away, we bring them forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think because of how we as humans like to compartmentalize things, we intentionally push them out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, this is a really emotional thing for me. I don't necessarily want to deal with this right now. Like I'm just, the further away I'll push it, the easier it is psychologically for me, because it's over there. It's this other thing, and I'll get to it eventually.
One day.
One day.
Yeah. People always say 5 years, I find.
Yep.
5 years is like, and then 5 years just keeps being 5 years,
Yeah.
5 years. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's to be able to again break that paradigm, I love it. Like it's probably one of my favorite things in terms of just like, as I said, in terms of challenging people's preconceived ideas when they walk in. I love being able to like shatter that.
Yes.
Not for the shattering, for the impact that it has. Because
The impact it has on the person. Yeah.
yeah, but the way I know I've probably talked
Positive
about
impact
this
it has on
positive
the person.
impact. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. But that's that paradigm, I guess, reshaping isn't clean. Like, so it feels uncomfortable sometimes for people. It can feel emotional. Like, I think that's totally fine. But people realize that why that's important.
It's coming from a good place.
Correct. I think about the impact that it has outside of that particular person. That's the thing that I love, because a lot of the conversations that we have with clients, that's a perfect example. Dad worked till he was 60 and then died when he was 62. I don't want that to be me.
No.
There is a son or a daughter or a wife or a family member or a partner that has watched that happen, and the fact that if you can change that aspect and live a life where you can do the things that you want to do earlier rather than at 55 versus 60, not only do you get to see that, so do your kids and your partner and your family. But then that also then informs their experience and the decisions that they make in the future and how they think about money.
That's right.
And then how their friends think about money, and then how those children think about money. Like, it's not, I feel like I've said this before, but this is the stuff that's like, I think we underestimate in terms of
I agree.
the actual knock-on impacts of it. And like, if I was to talk about, I guess, I think we talked about this last time, but in terms of, if looking back 90 years, what are the thing that what's the one thing that the first thing that will come out of my mouth was I wanted to make a positive impact into as many people's lives as I possibly could. So for me, this is just like this is like, turn all the lights on. Like, I love this because I can see the positive knock-on effect that has.
Which is why he's so
I love
lit
it.
up.
It's like, but it's also
Right now.
coming back to the data on this is like it stops being anecdotal now. So
Yeah.
I was sitting at the Mount Macedon Trading Post with an acquaintance.
Yep.
Talking about financial advice.
Okay.
And he was saying, how do you approach it? And I was talking about our life first approach, and he was like, oh yeah, our advisor asks us about our goals as well. And I was like, no. Like, so internally I'm like, no.
You're losing it.
No. But I didn't have we didn't have the time, but then I didn't have, like, when you don't have the evidence to turn around and say, well, it's more than that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean it's more? It's like, if I said, no, it's not goals. It's about values and what's important to you and your broader life. That can sound hollow.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're just talking out of the other side of your mouth.
Yeah.
But then, like, when you look at this now and you go, all right, well, no. The approach is different because, the data says that was the thing that came out of this. The percentage improvement from baseline, right? So if we get back into how we approach this.
Yep.
So all clients who come into the business who are new fill in a survey before they come in for the discovery meeting. That captures a baseline of how they feel across 8 different areas of their world: spiritual, environmental, financial, physical, intellectual, career, emotional, and social.
Mm-hmm.
And so we take a score across the board.
Out of 5.
Out of 5. And then from there, they get to refill that survey in maybe 3 months later, 6 months later, and when they come in for review.
Yep.
And so we've finally had enough numbers to make the data set big enough to show what we were hoping uplift was on those scores.
Yes. And so Chris, we've had this data for a while, Chris, and Chris had been at me to build the program to be able to put it all together, and I finally did it in a weekend. But I remember getting, like I'm doing all the numbers again, the math, putting it all together, and I got the scores, and I went, oh yes, finally we have it. Like, it's the numbers are in, and guess what? We make a meaningful difference. Amazing.
You know what the thing was that surprised me the most out of these numbers?
No.
The number one percentage increase was spiritual.
Yeah.
There's a 28% uplift in the spiritual score.
Yep.
In terms of how people feel about their lives because of the approach that we take and the advice that we give.
Yep.
You would think logically that financial would be number 1.
Yeah.
But it's number 3. So
I think we should run through the numbers.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So we've surveyed new clients, so people before they were clients, and then we've surveyed people after they were clients, existing clients as well. And so new clients, from a career perspective, they're rating themselves 3.3 out of 5. Existing clients are rating themselves 3.9 out of 5. New clients, from an emotional perspective, rate themselves on average 3.4 out of 5. Existing clients are rating themselves 4 out of 5. Environmental, new clients 3 out of 5. Existing clients 3.7 out of 5. Financial, new clients are rating themselves as 3.1. Existing clients are rating themselves as 3.8. Now, I might pause on that one, actually, right? Because that's obviously what people think we do, and it is what we do as well, and we do it well. So people are feeling better about their finances as a result of getting financial advice. Now, it'd be a worry if that number went down, Chris.
it would, yes.
But it hasn't. It's gone up. Intellectual, 2.7 out of 5. Existing clients, 3.2. Physical, new clients are 3.2. Existing clients are 3.9. Social, new clients are 3.3, existing clients are 3.7, and spiritual, new clients were 2.5 and existing clients were 3.2. So on all dimensions, we've had a significant improvement in how people feel as a result of getting financial advice from independent wealth partners.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just the evidence to back up what we already knew in terms of when clients would come to us and say, "Oh, thank you so much. Like I feel so much better. I know I'm okay.
Yep.
Like I can do this for my children. I can do this for my life. I can do all these things." It's just phenomenal to have the data to back up what we have been regularly seeing.
What we've known.
Yep.
So without naming anyone, can you, what does it feel like for you, and what do you think it feels like for the client when they have what we call an aha moment? And an aha moment, whilst Chris thinks, because this is
I was just thinking, because I've had quite a few in the last couple of weeks.
An aha moment is a realization of a goal, dream, or an aspiration or achievement.
Yeah. I think and this is probably recency bias coming through, for the clients that I have had aha moments for in the last probably month, it's all been quite subdued from the client side, I think. But again, it's one of those elements.
You've been working towards it for a while.
Correct. And it's one of those moments where, you might have been working towards it for, sort of 3 years, and it's sort of happening.
Yep.
On the client side, at least externally, it's just kind of like, oh, wow, okay, that's amazing. And I feel like it gets processed like offline, if I want to call it that. Because I wonder whether people feel like they can't have that moment in terms of like with someone. Like it's probably something because it's so important. Like I had for clients the other day that we've been talking about paying off their mortgage for 3 years, and we basically put together a strategy to make sure that happened inside the next 4 months. And just you could see that's okay, awesome. Like you could see the excitement, but then I can guess what is then going to happen, the relief and the what that then subsequently brings as a result of that. But for me, how it feels for me, it's just really fulfilling because I was sitting there in all of these. I get to watch it happen in a sense. Because we've done the work to uncover what's important to that person, and I feel like I never want to step into that moment and be like, oh, isn't it great? We've done this thing, correct. No. It's more about trying to be sort of as much as you can be sort of present in that moment and just sort of soak it in, because that's why we're here. For me, this is why we do it. So that you get to, one, identify it. That's only half the job. Yep. The second part is to then make it happen and just be so pleased for the other person that something that is really important to them gets to happen. It's like, I don't know. It's probably, the way I describe it, it feels like watching your best friend get married. It's like that kind of warmth feeling going, I'm so happy for you, but it fills you in here.
It's a nice way to describe it.
Only such as came to my head. So that's how it feels. So.
Yeah. I mean, you are so happy for the people you've known for a long time, been able to work with for a long time, and known their aspirations and their dreams, and known why they've held them, seeing them do the thing, whatever it is for them, is incredible.
Yep.
And so lovely to witness.
Yeah, it's just lovely. Just heartwarming is probably the word that I would,
that's right. Exactly.
That I would use.
Chris, where are we going to take this study from here?
More data, I think, and just evolve it over time as things go. Because there's an element of me that's like, this is great, but it's a bit like with the Kinder book. That's where we started, but it has continued to evolve and get deeper and be more complex. I feel like this is the same thing because there's an element of me that just wants to be like, more people need to do it this way.
Yep.
Like if I'm talking to the financial advice industry, you need to get your heads out of your like the last 50 years and start to think about things differently.
Yep.
Like I don't want to change the topic here, but like AI is coming. And if you're just a numbers person, your days are numbered.
Yeah.
Like your days are numbered. People want to deal with people.
Yep.
And for the reason why people come is for value. They come in here thinking that they want financial value when it's not actually what they want. They want the all of the stuff that we've talked about, that I want to feel secure in my life.
Yep.
I want to feel safe. That's the value that they actually want. But society has said you need to go and get financial value because financial value will give you the life value that you want. And I think we just fundamentally think that that's a bit backwards.
Yes, well, I guess over 25 plus years of being a financial advisor, you come to learn that the numbers just change.
Yep.
And what's purposeful for people is their own lives and being able to do the things that they want to do with their life that gives them joy and happiness and makes them happier people.
Yep.
And we as a business, and I know I would much rather spend time helping people do that
so much
rather than the goal being the accumulation of money, because it's really just a number on a page and it changes.
Yeah.
Right? So we try to spend our time helping people understand their money so then they can use it to do the things that are purposeful for them. And that's what I love about what we do. And I think also you brought up other advisors. I know of my years of following this approach that there used to be not too many of us. But I do think that is changing, and I do think people are gravitating more towards it.
Yeah.
Because to your point, the maths and the skill around the numbers and the skill around the investment management and that sort of thing, it's all really important, and it's got to be right, and it's got to be checked, and it needs to be done correctly, and it needs to be right for the client. However, AI is nearly already doing most of that pretty well now.
Mm-hmm.
So what people can't do is they can't implement because they don't know if it's right for them.
Yep.
And that's why they can't implement.
Yep.
So they don't know.
Yep.
And that's what good financial advice is. And that's why we start with life first, because we want people to have great lives and use their money to give themselves great lives.
Yep. Yep. It's just amazing. I love that we get to come to work most days and have the impact that we have. I want it for more people.
Yeah.
And it's something also, as I was thinking while you were talking, is this changes, right? We change as we grow. So, our brains change, our wants change, our needs change, our perspectives change, our philosophies change. As all of that changes, so do your answers to some of these questions.
That's right.
And just because you've done it once doesn't mean that it's like nothing, right? Just like just because you've done it once doesn't mean that that's correct and it's the way that it needs to be forever.
Yeah.
So the ability to continually evolve and roll with that nuance is also like it's the holistic element. I think that is really, really important because it then informs the traditional aspects, the stuff that we are also amazing at. So it's just anyway.
Well, Chris, thank you for putting together the article.
No worries.
Thank you for pushing me to do the maths. It's been great to spend some time with you walking through some of this stuff because, as we know, as we said earlier, we always knew it was anecdotally correct, but now having some evidence behind financial advice actually helping people with how they feel, we're in awe of these numbers. So thanks for your time and have a great week.